Welcome to the 45th edition of the Rolex Middle Sea Race, bringing you live coverage from Grand Harbour, Malta. This historic port is filled with yachts from around the world, waiting for the cannon fire for the start of this spectacular race. Well, welcome to the start, the 45th edition of the Rolex Middle Sea Race. And for those of you that think this is a race without much wind, you're going to be very mistaken today. We've got some more in-detail weather news later on, but I'm Louis Habib, and joining me high above Valletta's Grand Harbour in Malta is Giles Pearman. We have race director George Bonello Dupuy out on the water, soaking up the atmosphere, and multiple cameras getting every angle for this spectacular race start. Giles, set the scene. We know you were down in the dock, right? Literally just arrived here now. What's the feel?
Yes, I've had a chat with quite a few boats there, Louis. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're dry at home. We're dry here right now. Which is a good thing, but the mood on the dock is certainly one of excitement, a little bit of nerves. The one certain thing I got across this morning is there's uncertainty in the weather. The models don't agree. There's been a shifting pattern all week, and it's continuing to shift now. But 112 boats, it's a great fleet spread across from the top at 100 foot right down to 30 feet. There's a lot of competition in this race, Louis.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's have a look at the course map, if we can get that up. And let's have a little chat about the weather outlook for the 45th edition of the Rolex Middle Sea Race.
First, if we just go through the course, they leave Grand Harbour, they head 55 miles north or so to Capo Passero on the southeast corner. They've then got a 100-mile leg dominated by Mount Etna, which is 3,000 metres high. First of two active volcanoes. Next up, Strait of Messina, then into the Mediterranean Sea. It's 20 miles long. It has a critical moment, infamous tidal gate. Once through, 35 miles to Strombolicchio and Stromboli. Then it's 150 miles across to Favignano on the northwest corner of the course. They turn south through the Agadi Islands, and the first open segment of the race beckons, 75 miles down to the island of Pantelleria, which is closer to Africa than it is to Europe. Lampedusa at the bottom is the southernmost point of the course. It's a further 90 miles on. All that remains is a penultimate leg of 95 miles back to the Maltese archipelago, and then once they are through the South Camino Channel, it's 10 miles to the finish at Marsamxett Harbour.
Wow. I mean, and this is going to be a tough race. And I think the Mike Broughton weather briefing the other day, we've got a little chat with Mike after that weather briefing, haven't we, Giles?
We have. I think it would be worth giving the spectators an idea of how complicated it is.
Weather's big news.
For the Rolex Middle Sea Race for 2024. It looks really different from most years. We're looking at quite a lot of wind, quite a lot of rain, and also some quite large areas of very light winds for shorter periods of time. What we've got is we've got a low pressure centre that's going to be sort of moving across the Isle of Sicily, which is pretty much in the middle of our course. And then we've got a frontal system that's due to go through a couple of hours before the race starts, and then a trough line behind it, and then some little orographic lows, which are generated by some respects by the high ground of Sicily, giving us more complex weather conditions. So we're going to see a big sort of circulation of wind, but it's going to be interrupted because of the land effects. So real challenge for crews, real challenge for a whole crew, because there'll be a lot of sail changes from when we go from winds, as I say, from 3 knots up to 33 knots generally, but mainly in the high teens for Saturday. So, very, very challenging conditions. We're going to see boats having to put reefs in, reefs out, sail changes throughout. So it's going to really be a hard trip. Then as the race goes through into Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the conditions get lighter. We still have got quite unsettled conditions because of this mixture of low pressure and the quite high sea temperatures. And then the winds generally get lighter through the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday part of the race for the smaller boats.
Yeah, I mean, that's an incredibly complex weather state, and that's looking at weather models. What they're going to get out there locally could be totally different. They could see even more than 30 knots of breeze, we've heard from some competitors. But Giles, the Rolex Middle Sea Race, it's a truly international affair. Just give us some stats about the 45th edition.
Okay, so 112 boats, as we've said. Smallest boat is 9.43 meters, so it's roughly 30 feet. That's Calypso, Maltese boat. The largest boat is Scallywag, 30.45, 48 meters, so it's 100 foot. A couple of centimeters bigger than Blackjack 100. So I don't know where they've lost that. And then we're into 30 nations represented. Wow. Italy and France are the largest. Both got 20 boats taking part. Malta's done well. There's a little bit of confusion over this. We think there's 15 strictly Maltese boats, but there's another couple that are flagged in Malta.
And lots of Maltese crew through the fleet.
Absolutely. It's spread throughout the fleet. A lot of local knowledge being taken on board the boats, which is very sensible. Germany with 9 boats, UK with 8, Austria with 7, and then there's a whole plethora of other countries. A lot of Eastern Europeans, we've got Australians, we've got United States. It's a good mix of the offshore racing world here.
Yeah, 3 Australian boats this year. I can't remember we've ever had 3 Australian boats before.
You're testing me there, Louis. That's probably a beer I owe you already. That was cruel, very cruel. El Oro, the Whitbread 73, you can tell us a little bit about that. The Kent King from Australia. Bedouin, the Swan 53, beautiful boat. Racing most recently at the Rolex Swan Cup. Also has done the Aegean 600 a couple of times. That's Linda Goddard from Australia. And then Eve, and I know what you're going to say. It's a Swan 65. Steve Capel, Fraser Walsh from Australia. They're on a tour around the world, which started from Sydney in 2022.
Amazing, on a boat like that. And I've got a feeling that's on your Christmas list, this one.
It's been on my Christmas list for a very, very long time.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, just to let you know what we're going to be doing during the course of the starts here. The first start is at 1100 CEST local time, and we will switch to coverage of each start at 10:50. So 10 minutes before the first start, we're going to concentrate on that one. But right now we're going to show you this amazing view of Grand Harbour in Valletta. There's James Neville having a chat with some of the media team down there on his Carkeek 45 Eno Noir. And that's an all-British team from all over Britain, actually. It's quite interesting. And you had a chat with James Dockside, didn't you? Literally an hour ago or less, Giles. What was the mood like on Eno Noir?
They're very, very excited. Look, they're a professional-looking crew. James strolled down. The guys were already on the boat. They're putting things together. But clearly, a lot of thought and work had gone into this. He said, "I'm as excited as ever."
Yeah, and James is doing an awful lot of racing with the boat lined up for this year and next year. And they seem to be all up for it. They've got almost an entire Mod 70 crew on that boat as well that have done the race before.
Yeah, I noticed a couple of Concis shirts on there, which suggested multihull.
Yeah. And then we've got the Turkish TP52. Arcus Blue Moon, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Another boat I had a chat with this morning. They did the race last time in 2014. They really enjoy the race. The one comment that really made me laugh is that instead of the crew getting older, we were told the crew's getting younger. So I think there's been a few changes since they were last out, but they were looking forward to it. They also love this harbour setting, set in between the bastions, in between Fort St Angelo, across on the far side at the pin end of the course.
Yeah, wonderful. And right now you can see the wide shot, and all of the boats have to get behind the line for the race start. There's sort of a starting area behind the line where boats are allowed 10 minutes beforehand, but it really is a packed area to get 112 boats behind the start line for the start of this race. And they have to have a pecking order. So at the moment, right at the front there, you can see the Class 40s strutting their stuff. They're in the first start with Picamole the only multi-hull this year, Giles.
That's right, but
Yeah.
he's done the race before. Aldo Fumagalli, he's done the race before, and he's got a very interesting crew member on there, Patrick Philippon,
Okay.
who did the race first time round. He did it in 1972 on a famous boat called an Orca 43 with Chino Ricci, who won the race, I believe, in the following year. You'll correct me on that, I'm sure. Maybe it's 71. And then he went on from this to do the Whitbread race in 73, 74 with Eric Tarberley. So
Oh, wow.
there's a little bit of knowledge on there. And he has been back twice since to do the race in the early 2010s.
Yeah. And he's on a Rapido 53. I think the last race was a smaller boat, Rapido.
That's
40.
right. Yeah, this is a development of that boat, I understand, and they're doing a lot of work with it. But Aldo's been here before with a couple of smaller boats. But
well
they're
done
keen
for
to get
Aldo
round.
and the team for coming. We'd love to see more multi-hulls next year. And we've got one of the beautiful Swans in shop right now. Swan, what's that? Is that a 44?
I'm going to say that's the 47.
47.
I would imagine that is Tommy and John Rippard.
You got
There
it,
is.
yeah. Father and son team. What do you know about that, Giles?
Well, what don't we know about the Rippard family? How many times have they done this race between them? Probably added up.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead. I mean, this boat has got a life of its own, hasn't it?
Well, I managed to look back in the archive, and I found it's definitely did the race back in sort of 96, 97, 98 with John Rippard Jr. helming and skippering it. So there he is again.
Lucky duck, yeah.
The Lazy Duck. And they've raced together before, but fully crewed. This is going to be a first time as a double-handed team.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And I think the boat's done the race about 5 or 6 times.
That's correct. Yeah, certainly you can see, and it did really well. It used to be the first Maltese boat home back when the race restarted in '96.
Yeah.
Got beaten by Bigfoot in one year by his cousin. Christian
with
Rippard.
J105. Okay,
Yeah.
There you go. And there's a view out of the harbour there, and you can just about pick out a few white horses. It's not like dogs off chains out there, but we are seeing a potential for some really big breeze later on as the boats go up the east coast of Sicily, Giles. Is that right?
Well, again, the uncertainty is the uncertainty in this. And the word on the dock is it may be softening. They may not see quite as much as they were thinking they would. So
yeah, I mean, we've got this weird situation with 2 low pressure systems. One is causing a northerly airflow, one's causing a southerly, and obviously where the two meet, there's very little wind. So it's very, very unstable would be probably the best word.
That's correct. Yeah, I talked to, who else did I talk to? Teasing Machine, Laurent Page, winners back.
I mean, he really does his homework. What did Laurent have to say?
Well, he said it's a race of opportunity and pitfall.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he said, and you've got to keep your eyes. He said it's going to be a race of observation, which is really interesting, fascinating. They've got a lot of equipment on the boats, so they have AIS, which is the automatic recognition system that all yachts carry, all vessels carry.
Have to, yeah.
So that's one way of seeing what your opposition are doing. They can have a look at the
can use
tracker,
that
the YB
tactically,
tracker.
can't they?
You can use that too. And then he said you've got to keep your eyes out of the boat to see what people are doing around you as well. It's going to be hard work from a navigation tactician's point of view.
There we go. And we've got one of the smaller boats in shot there, and I'm pretty sure that's the Mum 30 Calypso with Sebastian Rippard and Dan Calix-Joni.
That's correct, it is.
It's not quite a Mum 30 anymore, though. If you look at that bowsprit, it is a very big bowsprit on that boat. That is going to be a wet ride, Giles.
It is going to be an extremely wet ride, but last time round they did it on a J99, so they clearly enjoy. They clearly enjoy the punishment.
Yeah, and 7 on board. That's cosy. That's cosy on a Mum 30.
That will be. That will be.
Yeah, I mean, just look at that. Look at the amount of space they've got. I mean, they can probably only get a couple down below, so they're going to have to be. We'll ask them whether they're as good friends when they get in. Put it that way.
Yeah, they've got plenty of experience on that boat. They've done this race any number of times, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get around in good shape.
Yeah,
and post a good score on the board for us.
Yeah, look, there's a shot of the amazing guns at the saluting battery, which actually fire the cannons for the start of this race. Pretty unique, I would say.
I think so. They're a bit of history. Replica 32-pounders. This is a saluting battery. It's been used by the British Navy For over 100 years it was used to signal time for ships and for saluting boats coming in and leaving harbour. And
there's a midday gun here, isn't there?
There is a midday gun here, So these are replicas of the guns that were there in the 1800s. But
and they don't put any cannonballs in them, do they?
No, sometimes we think they should.
Yeah, and there's a little shot of we're just around the corner from us there, and we're about three quarters of a kilometre, about 750 metres from the starting line. We're in front of the starting line, but you can see the Maltese turnout for this race. It's just fantastic. There are thousands of people watching the start of this race, perched on the bastions around Grand Harbour. It really is a massive affair in Malta, isn't it?
It's a great spot, and this is a busy working harbour. You can see in the background commercial ships, you can see cruise liners parked in the dock, and the Yacht Club puts out a great thanks to Transport Malta, who control the harbour, because it is them who close it to allow this race to take place and start from here without any issue, and probably you might see some naval boats out on the water, so the armed forces of Malta are here too, controlling the spectator fleet, making sure they don't interfere. So it's a great collaboration between people.
Yes, indeed. And who have we got there? That's one of the Maltese boats. I'm not 100% sure who that is, Giles. But that's one of the 15 Maltese entries?
Yeah. Behind them, Amber Sail, one of the Volvo 65s.
Yes, Amber Sail there, the Lithuanian team. They've done this race many times, come back over and over again. That's skippered by Raimundus Dubaras from Vilnius, and that's an all-Lithuanian crew on that boat. And what have we got coming into shot here? Again, you can start to see the breeze. There's definitely breeze down there on the water. That looks like, is that the pack from Slovenia? Is that the Carpo
I think that is a Carpo crowd.
Yeah, so we should explain that Carpo is Max Recco. He's a Land 450 from Slovenia, and they come with like 30 people on holiday, don't they?
They refer to them as their 9th crew member, I think.
Okay. It's the third race of the team. They're all Corinthian. They won IRC 5 last year, which was absolutely incredible. And they come with a huge fan club and have a holiday in Malta, basically.
They do. There was a lot of noise down at the dock when they were leaving this morning. It's extraordinary. I don't think, I've never seen another boat leave to quite the fanfare. I'm sure the America's Cup is
the horns
similar in Barcelona, but this was our version of it.
It's the Carpo Army, I think we can call them.
Yeah.
So we've got the first start is at 12 o'clock. Should we just run through how the starts work, Giles? Are you happy to do that?
Yeah, so they will start, the first start at 11 will be the Class 40s and the single multi-hull. And then they run through at 10-minute intervals with, I'm going to say roughly speaking, Class 6, so the smallest boats go off, and then start 5 is the next set of smallest boats, so that's the third start. Then we get into fourth, and the boats are getting bigger and bigger and more powerful each time.
Yes.
Before we get to the last 2 starts, we get a 20-minute gap because the speed differential is something else.
We're into the high performance classes for the last 2 starts, aren't we, Josh?
Yeah, so we get a chance to pause for breath as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah, indeed. Well, look, we are very close to 10 minutes before the first start of the 45th edition of the Rolex Middle Sea Race. Let's take our time to go through particularly the amazing Class 40s we've got here, Giles. I'm gonna kick you off with now one of them changed his name, didn't he? I'm going to make sure I get it right.
They've all changed their name. I even spoke to I spoke to Crosscall on the dock this morning, knowing full well that he changed his name.
Yeah,
and he called himself Crosscall.
Yeah.
And I can see his look. He's coming into vision now. So we're about to get a crack on the gun, though, folks.
Okay. Well, we'll let that go boom, shall we? Wow.
No.
I've never heard a gun do that before.
That's your 10-minute signal.
Okay, so we are 10 minutes to the first start. Let's talk about Centracore then. Mika Mergai from France. It's a 2022 Lombard. Third in the Med Maxi last month, a new race for the Class 40s. And this week it was the first Class 40 home in the Yachting Malta coastal race. The boat's from Toulon, and it's one of the latest Class 40s built at 183. I'm going to hand over to Giles to talk about an Italian Class 40. How about Andrea Fornaro's Influence 2? What can you tell me about that, Giles?
Well, it was fifth in last month's Medmax race and third in the 2023 Rolex Fastnet race, which is an exceptional result, really, because that would have been a tough fleet. 30 boat fleet of Class 40s. It's a Guelphi design, and there's been quite a rise in Class 40 racing in Italy, and we're glad to see Influence 2 here. But they're not the only Italian Class 40. We've also got Lucente, that's Matteo Serricano's VPLP, and that was second in the Medmax just gone by. And that's a VPLP design, as I said, from 2022. So there's going to be quite a good punch up here between some good Italian and some great French boats. They were very punchy on the dock, talking to them.
Okay.
They think it's an interesting race for them, because normally these are ocean passage making boats, much used to doing long courses with the opportunity to play weather systems.
Yes.
This race doesn't give them that opportunity because there are so many corners.
A lot of manoeuvres.
Coming togethers, a lot of sail changes, a lot of tactical options for them to play. So I think that you might look at a new boat and think it's going to win, but actually they've got a lot of work to do. It's not just a speed game, this race.
Gotcha, yeah. And, I must say I'm looking forward to seeing a fighter squadron of Class 40s go around this course. And some of them are going to be really close.
They are. They're definitely, and you talk to them, they're thrilled to be here. It's really something they want to do and take on, and they relish the challenge too, even though they say it's a little bit out of their normal zone. It's an attractive race for them because it makes them work the boat really hard.
Indeed. And just to explain, we have got Picamol in this start, so this is going to be Class 40 and Mokra as the first start. The sun's starting to break through. The breeze is definitely gusting. We can feel it as the sun's breaking through. The breeze is getting very gusty here in the harbour. Water's flat. What do you reckon? What kind of wind speed are we talking?
I'm looking out there. You can see the gusts coming across the harbour, virtually straight at us from Fort St Angelo. And I think you get yourself one of those puffs, you will be on your
take off.
Yeah, you'll either take off or you're going to be on your beam.
So yeah, we're potentially looking at a reaching start, certainly off the breeze.
Definitely. And looking at the patterns, I'm going to take a punt that the committee boat, so the saluting battery end, looks a little more favoured right this minute.
Well, we always disagree on this, Charles, and I'm definitely going windward boat here. Sorry. I'm definitely going windward boat. So I know you're in more of a shadow over that side, but I'm going to go windward boat.
Well, that's the interesting thing, because I reckon once you get past Fort St Angelo, then things open up, don't
yes.
they? The skyline is a little lower, so the breeze is possibly fresher over that side.
Yeah.
Plus, you're going to get a much better angle to the inner breakwater at the exit to the harbour.
But you're right. Fort St Angelo does jut out and gives you a shorter ley line. So you're probably right, actually.
No, I'll be wrong. What I'm fascinated to see is whether anyone's going to sneak up into, is it Calcara Creek, where the marina is, and they're going to do what I'm going to call an Ian Budgie start.
Yes, do you remember that?
Yes,
in a gear, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Shoot out of the harbour at full chat.
Yeah,
handbrake turn at the the pin end.
Yeah, God, that takes some minerals. That does for sure. But actually, I'm pretty sure Air Budgie's doing the race this year. Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember which boat he's on, but I'm pretty sure that Budgie's slipped into the 1,000 or so sailors from across the world. So what have we got? 5 minutes to the first start.
1 minute to the preparative signal for starting group white.
There you go. You probably got that. 1 minute to the prep for the first start of the Rolex Middle Sea race. and you're seeing a nice beauty shot there of Valletta. And it is a fantastic place to come. There's some amazing bars, restaurants, and if you're into design and architecture, it's where an awful lot of well-known movies are shot. Let's put it that way. And then we've got Centractor, I think she's now called, Mike McGuee. So they're getting ready to, they're getting lined up. Their head sail's all furled here, which would be a sort of classic downwind start. And there goes the prep. So class flag's up, so we've got 4 minutes to go. And we have got George Bonello Dupuy out on the water. I'm not sure whether we've got comms with George at the moment. We'll give it a go and see if we can get it right in the mix down there. Hello, is that George Bonello Dupuy? Can you hear us?
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good, George. Try and shield the mic a little bit. We can't hear you very well, but you're obviously down there. Wow, what an experience, George. What's it like on the water?
It's pretty gusty at the moment. The saddles are still blowing. It seems to have picked up in the last 10-15 minutes. We're waiting for the Class 40s and the trimaran to start, which will be in a few minutes' time. I think we're going to have a great start line. Most of them will be flying down with spinners, so we're really looking forward to see some crazy action this year, actually.
Yeah. How's the heart rate, George?
Pretty high. Thank God I'm taking my medication every evening. Cholesterol levels, heart rate, fine.
All right, so me and Giles are disagreeing on the which end of the line to go. Where would you go on this start, George?
Come back again, Louis. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Which end of the start line would you choose?
I'm going to be on the pin end, and we'll be following them out through the breakwater.
I'm fist pumping, George. I went pin end as well. Okay, look, George, we hope to get you literally every start. We'd love to know what your feeling is. So we'll try and dial you back in about a minute or two, if that's okay. And you can tell us, literally count us down to the last bit of the start. Are you up for that?
Yeah, I'm up for it. No problem.
Fantastic. All right, George, we'll be back to you very shortly.
Okay, standing by.
So there you have it, Charles.
Yeah, I'm another beer down. It's not going well this year, Louis. Something's wrong. I've got the wrong hat on.
Hey, we haven't seen the start yet. Me and George could both be wrong.
Yeah.
So we are literally within the first minute or two of the start of the Rolex Middle Sea race. There you've got a picture of Atlanta, Michael Puzzi's boat. That was fourth last year. He was fourth last year in a pogo, to be fair. And that's one of the earlier Class 40s that we got racing here.
So I'm hoping the spectators can see that we've got a scrolling start list on the bottom, which does end some of the confusion over the names of these Class 40s,
Okay.
which are changing as often as the weather has been.
Yeah, there we go.
3, 2, 1. Papa is removed for starting group white.
There we go. 1 minute. 1 minute to the start, and
1 minute to the warning signal for starting group blue.
okay, let's see if we can patch back down to George and get the dial up to the line. George Bonello Dupuy, are you receiving us? Hi, George.
30 seconds.
Just trying to get George on comms
Yeah,
down there.
I'm looking at a group of Class 40s
Yeah, go for it, Giles.
at the committee boat end of the line at the moment, Louis. I'm just wondering how you and George are feeling.
Yeah, yeah. There's certainly a pack of boats here at the committee boat end, or the cannon end, I should call it. Look at Pickleball there. She's got it. She's starting the right spot though. There you go. And yeah, so sort of classic downwind start with kites going up through the start line. One was a lot earlier back there. Okay, so yeah, that just to tell you that the lead boat, or the boat closest to the line, was Matteo Cercano's Lucente, but they're having real problems getting the kite filled there. The furl is now happening, and off they go. Nearly. So not a good unfurl there from Lucente, but they hit the B of the bang on the start line. Great start from Picamole as well. Fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic start. But I think the start for me is influence. So Andrea Fornaro on ITA 193, the 23 Guelphi design. They were closest to the committee boat, or sorry, to the saluting battery.
Yeah,
so obviously going to
great
pick them
speed
out. But they've got a bit of speed, so it's going to be really interesting once they get abreast of Fort St Angelo, whether that works for them or not, or whether the boat's closer to the centre of the line, they're going to pick up the breeze, because certainly your friends look like they're flying now.
Yeah, but you see, that's why, because if you are down to leeward, you're going to get disturbed there, and they're having problems holding that kite, Charles. That's another beer, definitely. And we can just see the bow wave coming off. Sorry, beg your pardon.
I reckon that's Lucente, Matteo Cercano.
Yeah, you're right, Charles. Yeah. But yeah, they're flying out here. Great start here for the Class 40s, and we're definitely on a downwind start at the moment. That is 100%. So leading, Lucente, Matteo Cercano, leading the Class 40s out of Grand Harbour for the first start of the Rolex Middle Sea race. And there's a nice close-up. You can see the scow bow there. And a great start there by the Italian team.
Yep, so they've got, so my friend on Influence 2,
he's doing okay.
Just off to the port side and close up behind. What are we looking at there? We're looking at the Austrian entry.
Yeah,
Michael
great
Kuss
start.
with Talanta.
Yeah, Talanta's got a great start there. Yeah, and Influence 2 are now in clear air, and they're going very well, very fast. Great start here for the Class 40s.
Already a spread of ages in there too, Louis, which is really nice to see, that it's not just, brand new boat, off we go.
Yeah, indeed.
Who's bringing up the rear at the moment, though?
Well, on...
Espoir Verdier, I think it is.
Yes, Espoir Verdier, that's Marie Goulven. It's a 2010 Verdier. But Marie's done 10 transatlantics, and this is a marathon, not a sprint. So I wouldn't mind betting that he's there at the finish.
No,
put it that way.
Absolutely true.
So that's the Class 40s and the one multi-hull away. And just got a little close-up there of Mikael Megau with his Lombard Centra Core. And they were first boat home in the Yachting Multicoastal race. And a big shout out to Toulon, the boats from Toulon. Great to see so many Class 40s here from France and Italy taking part in this wonderful race. The sun's out, Charles.
I know. This was
taking
not
your
expected.
jacket off.
This was not. I've taken my jacket off, which is quite a relief. And they're having a cracking start there. So they're in the space now between what I'm going to call the Lower Baraka, Siege Bell area and the breakwaters.
Yes, indeed. So so they're going to round the. Come on, Giles.
Well, they head straight out through the breakwater. So that's the inner breakwater on the right-hand side of the screen at the moment. Tied into that.
Beautiful shot.
Then they head out, and there's a turning mark just outside the harbour. At that point, they will turn northwest, and they will sail up the coast of Malta, past Marsamxett Harbour entrance, past the Slima waterfront, up to St Julian's and Dragonara, and then they will turn.
Yeah, it could be quite
right.
a tactical leg, that one, couldn't it? Because it could be almost dead downwind.
It looks like it could be dead downwind this time, which is unusual and exciting in equal measure.
Indeed.
Yeah, but they've had a cracking start.
Yeah, look at that lovely shot there. Look at the bunch going out there through the breakwater. Superb. That's a right old battle, that is, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's the first of their coming-togethers, of many coming-togethers. And the next one,
Indeed. Yeah, and we should also say that the sea state out there is, we're looking at potentially over 2 metres, aren't we?
We are. I think we need to move on. We've got 5 minutes to the next start, Louis, so we perhaps need to move on.
We need to move on. Well done, Class 40 multi-hull start. They're all clear, they're away. Start 2 will be IRC 6. 22 starters. We're just watching the Class 40s heading out through the breakwater, and that is a fantastic shot, I've got to say, and that's going to be a great race for those teams, and I'm sure we'll get some great stories on the way round and when they come back in. And don't forget that all of these boats are carrying satellite trackers, so you can track the race through the main website, Rolex Middle Sea Race. Pick up the tracker there. You can also download it for your smartphone, totally free, and you can follow the race 24/7. And so we've got the team. They can't get off this beauty shot, Giles. They love these Class 40s, and I can see why. What a race! Fantastic. If you're watching this and you're in the Class 40 class, or you're into it, come here, bring your Class 40 here, come and do this race.
Okay, so we're under 4 minutes to the next start, Louis.
Wow, we've got 22 boats starting in effectively IRC 6, including 6 Maltese boats. And on board, we've got some of the youngest crew in the race, Giles. Maybe you want to run us through a
correct,
few?
yeah. Luca Shembri-Melli on JYS Jan, who is just 14.
14.
There's a couple of 15-year-olds, or 2 or 3 15-year-olds, Michele Vettesoni, Amber Hayes, and Philippa Bartolo Parnis, who's on Jarhead, which is the other JYS.
Yeah, and Janissa as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
And this Young Sailors Foundation in Malta has been going for a few years now, and they're really starting to see some dividends, aren't they?
Absolutely, they really move through the fleet. So a lot of these young teenagers, adolescents, I'm not sure what to call them now, what's correct, they will have started racing dinghies, and they will move from the dinghies up into, they'll be invited effectively to join the Young Sailors Foundation.
Indeed.
And if they're invited, they get an opportunity to train on the 2 J109s that the foundation has, with more experienced sailors, and then they're given an opportunity. And these guys, so we spoke to Pippa yesterday and Luca.
Yeah, Giles, that's absolutely true, and they do get these fantastic experience from these well-tried sailors, and we've got a couple of them here. Before the start of the race, we spoke to the Rippards on board Lazy Duck. Let's have a look at the VT.
Well, if I'm going to say this is the last Middle Sea race I'm going to do this year, at least I'm going to have to do it double-handed with one of my kids.
I'm sailing with my dad double-handed for this race. It's always really enjoyable sailing with my dad. We don't do it as often as we'd like. The whole race course is really unique and different, always a bit fiery.
It's really hard to explain, but it's just spectacular.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the noise up here in the gardens, it's not just the wind either. There are 6 Maltese boats, there are dozens of Maltese crew in this start, and the locals are going absolutely crazy up here. The Braca Garlands are full of Maltese families, and they're all going to be cheering on their teams in this race start 2, IRC 6. And we are just 1 minute away from the start. We'll try and get down to George on the water to set the scene. George Bonella Dupuy, are you hearing us? Well, we're trying to get hold of George. I'll just tell you that the lowest... Oh, hello, is that George? Hello, George.
Okay, these gusts are increasing down there, Louis.
Big time. Yeah, the Giles is actually pointing out we're seeing some big bullets of pressure coming in. The sun's coming out, it's energising the breeze that's coming through, and we're seeing a lot of big gusts of wind. Go on, John.
I'm going to say I'm seeing a greater spread of boats across the start line this time, and you can see it on the water. You can see the wind on the water is really filled in across the harbour.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, this is effectively the slowest boats in the race, but they are going to be absolutely taking off down this start line. Yeah. The spread of boats in this race, we've got the lowest rated RC boat, that's Sun Odyssey 45, Janissa. That's owned by the rear Commodore of the Royal Multi-Yacht Club, Mario De Bono. He's got some very young sailors on his team. Highest rated, we got Disco Tomic from Croatia with his team on Munjek. They're always good fun in the yacht club. And Giles has got the binos out, and we've got one boat which is way ahead here on fantastic start. Have you got a sail number, Charles?
I haven't got a sail number. It looks like a double hander.
It's a spinnaker in the way. I think it's
got very few crew on board.
Very few crew on board. All right, we'll try and identify that. But look at this downwind start. Fantastic. That's IRC 6 away.
Yeah, ITA 16406.
There we
That's
go.
A really good start as well.
Well, we've got definitely a cracking start from what we believe to be South Kensington. Massimo Licata de Andreas, that's the first 35. From Palermo in Sicily. So they'll be waving at Palermo on the way round. And that's the lead boat, but I bet the race committee are going to have a hard time identifying that one. I know it's got a very colourful hull, but that doesn't really help. Who else we got, Giles? We got 16406.
Yeah, I'm not trying to identify.
Give us the sail number.
These. It's just folded. It's just folded on me.
That was South Kensington. Well done, great start.
Okay.
They're in second place.
Okay,
and it looks
MLT 7991.
Yeah, well, we can see who the lead boat is now.
Yeah, that's the Croatian boat.
Yeah.
739.
Yeah, pretty sure that's Munjek.
That is Munjek.
Yeah,
Dusko
fantastic
Tomic.
start.
He's a regular competitor here. He's done this race any number of times.
Yeah.
He's got a crew of 5 who were hiding.
Oh dear, Giles, you're definitely going to be first to the bar there.
I am.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward.
Yeah, so fantastic start there for Munjek, leading the fleet out of the harbour.
Yeah, so JYS Jan, which if we can see is MLT 7991, they are the first of the Jarhead Young Sailors Foundation taking the lead. Claudio Bujija is the skipper, and that's the one with Filipa Bartolo Panis, the 15-year-old on board.
Fantastic, great stuff.
And then
who else you got, Charles?
ITA 17300.
Okay.
There's a pack of 3 boats. And
that's a Lollyfast. That's skippered by Scott Ward. And that's a Storm Trisol Club crew. They chartered the boat, and they're mainly from the US.
Can I tell you a great story? I spoke to Scott Ward this morning. He hasn't been in this harbour since the last time he came. And when he came, he parked an American aircraft carrier here. He's a marine fighter pilot, so he didn't do the parking, but he told me.
Okay, fantastic.
He said this year looks a little easier.
Yeah, because they've closed the harbour. But a slightly different size of vessels. Sunfast 3600 isn't the size of an aircraft carrier.
Louis, I have to say we're being caught out this year because they're moving out of the harbour much faster than we're used to them. And they're screaming out. That's Lazy Duck in vision at the moment. That's the Rippards.
Yeah,
you can see
John
them
on the
going
helm.
well.
John on the helm and Tommy on the trim. Great stuff. Yeah, it's really breezy, particularly where we are up here. Big time.
We've got, they're not in vision at the moment, but if we head to the back of the fleet, we've got El Oro coming out of the harbour.
Okay, yeah, indeed. We've got a wide shot at the moment. Hey, I think we've got George Bonella Dupuy ringing in. Is that George?
Hi. So we had a great start with the class 40s and the trimaran. We're starting the next class.
You're out to the harbour with the trimaran, George.
The trimaran and the class 40s. The class 40s had a really good battle.
Okay.
All the way down to the first mark.
What's the sea state like, George? What's the sea state like out there?
The C6, I'd say about 1 to 2 meters probably.
Okay.
It's really gusting at the 3/4.
Okay, big time. Gusting. All right, fantastic. We got
surprised at the gusts coming out of Recovery Bay, basically.
okay. All right, so we're getting live from outside the harbour there. George is saying very gusty. We're seeing very gusty in the harbour as well. And we've also seeing some sea state of, I think that was 1.5 metre waves. So it's pretty fruity out there, that's for sure. Okay. Yeah, well, we got some more customers coming from you, George. You've got 22 boats from IRC6 just leaving the breakwater, and they're going to be out into open waters for this race. We can see El Oro on screen at the moment as well, the oldest boat in the race. So, George, keep us in tune. We're going to flick back to the next start, but thank you very much, George Bonella Dupuy.
Okay, so we are 4 minutes from start 3.
Okay.
21 starters in this. Again, number of Maltese boats. But one of my favourites in this start is going to be Atame, Beppe Bizzotto.
Yes.
Who is on his 17th race. And
all double-handed.
All double-handed. and he loves this race. He's got a huge passion for it. He has problems. He's had problems with the boat. He's a busy man in his working life, so he can't spend enough time working on the boat, he tells me. But
He lives in the UK. He lives in Richmond, you know. He lives in the UK.
Yeah.
And all his dreams came true in 2011 when he won double-handed and got on that stage. I mean, you can see the tears rolling down his face.
Yeah.
He is seriously passionate about this race. This year he has Alessandro Dorio with him, who's a budding mini transat sailor. But right now on the screen we've still got Lazy Duck, and she's going to love these conditions. The Swan.
They're not going to love the downwind conditions.
That'll be a bit rolly, won't it, when they turn the corner?
Well, it's just going to be a bit slow.
Yeah,
but it'll be nice. They'll probably be cooking well.
But isn't that fantastic for a father and son? And Tommy's just had his second child with his lovely wife, and a bit of a, if I may say, a boys' week.
Well, let's not say that.
Father and son.
Okay, I'm looking back down the harbour, Louis, because they are starting to square up at the moment.
Indeed,
absolutely squaring up.
Yeah, we're just seeing on the screen at the last of the Class 6 boats leaving. And hopefully we'll be switching back very shortly to the start line, a wide shot for the next start. And as if by magic.
And certainly what we're noticing is that in the past we've seen them all crammed up on the line because there's been no wind.
Yeah, not this time.
They're not this time, are they, Louis?
No, they're fully arced up. They're fully arced up. The bowie's drawn. There's plenty of breeze here. We're just about to get the beauty shot. The gun's going off. Do you want to be gun 1 or gun 2, Giles? It's gun 2.
Gun on 2.
I love the fact they're in a uniform as well. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, hold on.
Oh, you can't have a problem now, chap.
No, there's no app for that. And you can see it's a busy old start like this. 21 boats. Noel Greg's Maltese 40.7 Gozo Dream is the lowest rated boat in this start. And the highest rated is the Australian Swan 53 Bedouin.
I've got my money right now on the middle of the line, which is Sebastian Rippard.
Okay, I'll let you have that. You're so far down the pecking order at the moment, Giles. I'll let you have that. Yeah.
Well, if they get this.
Yeah, I've got them on the binoculars at the moment. They are set. They are set for a soft sail, and I wouldn't be surprised. There's 7 of them on board, and they're all damn good sailors.
They are. Okay, so furthest down the pin end, I'm looking at ITA 46 601. I think that is.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you who's in that pack there with the Mum 30. We've got the Kazakhstani boat. There we go. There's the gun. So they're off.
Not the first Kazakhstan boat. The first Kazakhstan boat was last year.
Oh, right.
But interesting though.
Peter Lesney's Jedi J112. And in the centre of the screen, that's the ones you can see. But yeah.
Oh, we're looking for some sails to fill, aren't we? But my friends, ITA 4501 at the pin end have got a good start with it. Well, they need to hoist their kite a bit higher. They've got quite a gap between the head and the...
Yeah, you call out the numbers and I'll have a look at it. So was that ITA what, Giles?
4601.
Yeah, okay, so that's Jules Manuel Constantin's Ocean 56, Oceana 46. And that's a good Italian crew on board. Also with some Slovenians.
That is a cracking start for probably one of the heavier boats in
yeah,
this fleet.
that is an absolute jaffa. That is, you know, as you say, for a not high performance boat to get off the start line like that, well played to them.
What about MLT 1313? What are we looking at there? Orange kite in the middle of the course at the moment. We can just
that's
see them going
open pay B free. Jonathan Camilleri Bauman with the J112. The owner's Horst Hersley. It's a Royal Multi-Yacht Club boat and it's a first race for it, but Camilleri Bauman has done many races with Maltese Falcon, so that's a good team. Yeah.
So I'm also looking at another Maltese boat. I'm going to say 4041. I can't quite get all the... 4041.
That's a negative.
That's Geisha. Stefan De Battista IMX 40 with co-skipper Sam Byrne.
Correct.
He's the second, but
you can hear the noise there. It's the proper Maltese chanting going on here. Hooters the lot.
So this pack, so we've got two orange spinnakers out there. The first one is the open paid. The second one is the FAR 30. Just trying to get eyes on the one inside,
Calypso.
which is probably your Kazakhstani friends.
Yeah, almost certainly Jedi. Yeah.
Okay, and then we've got some boats that are coming in underneath the Baraka Gardens. Certainly looks like a Swan 56. Closest inshore at the moment.
Okay.
I'm going to take a punt. That's Hervé Grunig. Go on, back me up on that.
Well, back me up with the cell number and I will. But
no, it's probably Bedouin. It's AUS 8777.
There we go. Yeah, first Rolex Middle Sea race for the team. So they've never experienced this before. And I'll tell you what, that noise is coming from Carpo. The Carpo army are up here in the Baraka Gardens.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere, Louis.
Fantastic. And here we've got the peloton coming through here. I can see...
oh, you've been saving that one up all morning, haven't you?
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic start. Brilliant sunshine. Grand Harbour.
So Bedouin's a Swan 53, and I think I now have my Swan 56 coming past the German boat 4908.
Fantastic.
It's Best Buddies. Swan 441.
Okay.
I should be ashamed, Louis. I spent 2 years on board a Swan 441 on the east coast of the States.
Okay. Yeah, as I say, a lot of...
beautiful boat.
Yeah.
Did the Admiral's Cup.
Oh, did it now?
It did.
Is that the Ron Holland?
In 1979.
Ah, the Ron Holland Best Buddies.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Been modified since, but...
I would hope, yeah. But they're great boats to sail. That's a lovely overhead shot. You can really see. Look how fast they're going out, Louis.
Yeah, fantastic. And a little bit unusual to have a spinnaker start in the harbour. Don't normally see that.
My monitor's almost like a spinnaker, mate. I'm about to go.
Oh, and by the way, we've got obviously the full Rolex Middle Sea Race media team out taking photographs. We've got a helicopter up. We've got people out in the water, drones, and you know, you're watching the live action here, which will be not as polished, shall we say, as the fantastic pictures you can see later on the Rolex Middle Sea Race website.
So in vision at the moment, the Dale of
Hobart.
41, Hobart.
Yeah, tell us about that one, Charles.
Miroslav Zemke and Richard Susak, 5th in IRC, I'm going to say 5 or 6 last year.
Okay.
Polish boat.
Yeah, a lovely boat, Dale of 41. Really good performance cruiser, and of course, the class results are determined by handicap. So, might not be the fastest boat in this class, but it's got an equal chance of winning.
It's not about size or speed. It's about skill, though. It's about selling your boat to the best of its potential.
Indeed. So, Giles, come on. We are now 5 minutes away from the next start. Who have we got? It's, I believe, IRC4, again with 21 starters.
Yep, smallest boat is Marco Trincier and Luca Bettiati's
Oh, yes.
Figaro 3.
Figaro 3 Duffy,
It's
but
it's not Duffy.
It's not Duffy. Anyway,
It's not Duffy, it's Muttley.
Muttley, there you go.
BDM Audit.
That's a beer back, Giles.
Yeah, I know, thank God for that. Saving that one up for you.
But right now we've got a lovely beauty shot of that red spinnaker. They're trying to get it filled.
Well, that's I don't know what's in vision at the moment.
Another lovely pack of boats going out under spinnaker through the breakwater. And we thought it was going to be raining hard, Giles. I shouldn't say the R word too loud, but at the moment it's looking absolutely glamorous.
I think we were getting more suited to swimmers than sunglasses today, weren't we,
20
Louis?
knots of breeze, sunshine, warm air temperature, very warm sea temperature. I would say better than ideal conditions.
One of the best we've had in recent memory, Louis.
Yeah. So we're watching the IRC5 boats leaving the Grand Harbour and out into the open waters. Next, they'll be setting their bows for Siracusa on the southeast tip of Sicily and entering the Messina Strait at some stage later tonight.
And that's a big fight up there because there's a tidal gate they've got to get through and get in.
Yeah. But right now we're back to the drone shot of Grand Harbour. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic shot.
When the sun comes out, the limestone really comes into its own.
Yeah, absolutely superb. And if you haven't been to Malta, there is so much to do and see here. And its neighbouring island, Gozo, is a great place if you want to chill out holiday. So
you're looking, I can talk you through. Look at the bottom right is Fort St Elmo. Go through slightly to the left, and you're looking then at the Mediterranean Conference Centre, which used to be the Sacra Infermeria, which was the Hospital of the Knights of St John, and was probably the most modern hospital of its day in the 16th century.
Yeah. And there we have the bastions.
This is just under the siege bell. The siege bell's not looking so great this year because it's surrounded by scaffolding, but it's a monument to fallen soldiers, so it is an important part of the architecture there. You can see it again in the middle of vision at the moment.
Yeah.
And then we're in the trees in the middle of the vision in the Lower Baraka Gardens, and then the fleet behind, who are about a minute and a half away from their start.
Yeah, fantastic. What a backdrop. I mean, it's the most amazing amphitheatre for yacht racing that I've ever seen, for sure. So, what we got to go to is just 2 minutes to the... it's IRC4, I believe, this one, Josh? Yeah. Start 4, 21 starters. And what a range of boats we got in here.
Massive spread of boats, massive spread of boats. Boats to look out for: MLT 274, Tonton Lafela, Jonathan Gambin.
Yeah.
MLT 450, Elusive 2. The Podestas, 2-time winners of the race.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Jackknife, Andrew and Sam Hall's J125.
Yes, so very interesting. They'll be flying the Welsh Dragon, the Halls, and they love that boat.
And J125 has history in this race. Back in 2001, Straight Dealer
won it, yeah. And that Straight Dealer, I found out, it was hull number 2 of the J125. This one is actually older. This is hull number 1.
Wow. There we go. There's our photographer, Kurt Arrigo, I think. It looks like Kurt heading back in.
The yellow jacket.
Yeah.
And
what else we got? Yagiza, the first 53. That's got Nicky Henderson on board.
Beautiful boat as well. And I think about half the crew are women on that boat.
Yep.
And a lovely boat, Yagiza and Nikki Henderson, very accomplished. I think she's the first woman skipper to sail around the world. There goes the gun.
Youngest skipper to sail in around the world yacht race.
You're right.
Did the Clipper in 2018. I think 25 years old.
25 years of age, yeah. So we've got a blue kite straight out the bag there with absolutely no sail numbers on it, but I wouldn't mind betting that's elusive. I think Elusive has got a great start there. I can see Tonton Lafurla just to leeward of her.
Yeah, in the black with the black kite.
And coming over the top of Elusive, is that 8859 GBR?
It is.
I'll just check that one out for you. That is Jackknife.
That is Jackknife.
Yeah. So great start there from, I'm pretty sure, Elusive, that blue kite. Jackknife to windward, but
yeah, I reckon I can
behind.
see David Anastasi at the back of the boat.
But we think this is, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Elusive. Has had an
Elusive.
absolutely awesome start. Jackknife just losing the kite a touch in the wind shadow. But Elusive away. Fantastic. They had some electrical problems last year, which knocked out their instruments. But as Giles pointed out, 2 times winners of this race. Jackknife suddenly got a right old spurt on there.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, Jackknife's off.
Hulls lifting, bows lifting out of the Waterloo. Eh? We don't see that in the harbour very often.
Yeah, fantastic speed here from Jackknife, going through Elusive, rolling Elusive. That's a quick boat, and really digging it in there, going straight across the front of them as well. I've got a feeling that won't be the first time those two have a ding-dong on the way round.
No,
and prowling just behind is Tonton Lafurla, heavier boat.
Yeah, Jonathan Gambine, he loves this race. He can't get enough of it. I think he's virtually done it every year since his first one in around 2008, when he first, well, that was the first one with this boat.
Yeah, but well done, Andrew, Sam Hall, Jackknife. They also own Patanegra, Lombard 46, and does a lot of offshore racing, to say the least. But Jackknife leads IRC4 out of Grand Harbour. The Podesta family with Elusive and Meyer on board gave birth 2 weeks ago. Astonishing. In second place, Tonton Lafurla in third.
We've got some cracking boats coming up on the inside. Come on, look on behind. Look, GBR 562R, I think Dejanu, which is a MAT 1245, Marco Cohen, Yacht Club Italiano. That's coming through
and
close
I've
to
got
us.
to give a shout out to Pat Hurley, who's listening in from Cove in Cork Harbour, cheering on her son on board, Barry Hurley. Also got Nick Jones on board, so shout out to Susie and the kids back in the UK. And used to be known as Sailplane, this boat, MAT 1245. What have we got in shot, Giles? It's one of the swans.
I'm going to do quick. That is Herv Grunig on the Swan 56, Azahar. This is his second race.
Yeah. Yacht Club de France, I believe.
Yacht Club de France, yeah, they had a problem last year, didn't complete the course. I spoke to him this morning. He's as enthusiastic as he was last year. Nerves and excitement.
Yeah, and they're from Andrax on the island of Mallorca, most of the crew. I think the boat is based there these days, Azahar. And there's a lovely shot of the top there. Jackknife, Elusive, and Tonton Lafurla.
And that's a shot we'd normally associate when the Max is departing.
Yeah, which is later on. We'll come to that. But that's a superb shot there of the fleet leaving. The adrenaline down there must be unbelievable.
Swan 65 in the middle there.
Yeah, Swan 65 in the middle. Which one is it, Giles?
That'll be Eve.
Yeah, beautiful boat. I really like Eve. She's a stunning boat.
Holding her own.
Yeah.
The pink spinnaker is
Benjamin Boulon with Eve. Sorry, the pink spinnaker?
I think that's Phoenix, the XP50, Dr. Thomas Benzel. NRV Hamburg co-skippers Sven Kruger and Jörn Wieler.
Yeah, fantastic. Lovely boat, the XP50.
Yeah. Great shot overlooking the inner breakwater. Fort Ricasoli just behind. There we go, back to our Swan 65.
Beautiful. It's really gusty now. That's got to be a bullet 25, maybe more.
Love to know what this little one is in the corner. There's BDM Mutley. Look at those. Are they canards? Are they foils? What are they?
They're foils. That's a figure 03.
That is a weapon.
It is an absolute weapon, but they need to set it up. At the moment, there's a chap on the foredeck there, and
well, racing double-handed. They've got their hands full in this harbour right now.
They certainly have. Now, yeah, so once they get that on the plane, that will be absolutely scooting along that figure 03. Big circuit of those in France, obviously. There's must be about 30 of them down in Lorient, and also a good set in Italy, and obviously used for transatlantics. It's where a lot of the French team, young sailors, learn to get into the Mocha class. Beautiful shot there. IRC4 leaving the harbour. We've got about 5 minutes to go until IRC5.
It looks like we're at Dragonara Point with this, and I didn't get which one that was, but these are the boats at Dragonara. They're now taking their right turn and heading north up to Capo.
Indeed.
55 miles up to Sicily. That'll be a great reach, isn't it? Looks like quite a tight reach looking at the boats ahead.
Yeah, I think we just had a look at the Sunfast 3300 Obsession out there.
Spoke to them yesterday.
Yeah. What do they have to say, Josh?
Very relaxed. They said to me, we like this race, it's warm. It's a qualifier for the Fastnet, but we might not do the Fastnet.
Okay.
Which I thought he was very honest.
Well, I think this is going to be a pretty tough race,
I think it's going to be a tough race. I think once you've done this, you're probably well set up for the Fastnet.
Yeah, indeed.
So we're back to our shot of Fort St. Angelo, pin end of the line. What are we looking at into the next class, Louis? We're into start 5 already. These are going fast, Louis.
Let's have a little look. Start 5, basically IRC3, 17 starters. And in this, we've got a mixture of 40-footers and high-performance racer cruisers. Lowest rated boat is Galbula 10, Pedro Gonzalo's Spanish X5. The highest rated is Soliag, that's Jean-Yves French Ice 53. We've got 2 Ice 52s, but that's an Ice 53, slightly longer. And how long we got to go? 3 minutes till the start. And in this start, we have Yves Grosjean's Avasac Impulse, and Yves absolutely loves this race. Let's hear what Yves had to say.
We did our first Middle Sea race in 2015. This is what makes this race particular, really, is that the wind that's coming at you is wind that has lived through continents, islands, stretches of water. When it comes at you, it has a full history to tell, and trying to understand what it has to tell you is really, for me, an excitement each time.
Yeah, and Yves absolutely loves this race. We're about to get a gun going. Come on, Giles, you going gun 2 or gun 1?
They're not giving any clues, are they?
Yeah, they're not.
Gun
Not this
1.
time.
Gun 1.
Okay, I'll go gun 1 as well. See if we're both right. So we are waiting for the next start, which is start 5, IRC3, 17 starters. And just about a minute to go. We've probably gone a bit too early for that.
Well, we're in a minute signal, and that'll be it. So.
No gun at all, Giles.
No, that's just a minute. That's the minute signal, Louis. You don't get a gun in a minute signal. So what's your bet in this race? I'm going straight for Long Courier, Jerry Troncer in this start.
You keep going first here, Giles. We just got the beauty shot of IRC4 leaving the fleet.
Oh, I don't care. I'm on to the next stop.
All right. I hear what you say, and what a fantastic team Jerry's got on that boat, including Alexis Loison, the Rolex Fastnet race winner 2013. Well, I'm going to go RT3 because I'm in Malta. We've got to cheer the locals. RT3.
Well, that's a safe bet with Christian Rippard on board, isn't it? That they're going to do well.
Yeah, how many races has Christian done?
I don't know.
34. This is 34. Which
So he's one shy of the record,
There
which
we
is
go.
35.
And we're about to get the start gun, and they're still keeping it shy. But you can just see the boats in the background. There's X-Day.
One.
We were both right. So who's got a good lead there? We've got a white spinnaker trying to fill to windward.
I reckon ROU. I reckon that's B Wild. I reckon it's the Swan 42 in the middle of the
Yeah,
pack.
but the big start is at the pin. That's 43631. I can tell you that's Jerry. Jerry Trentaso. Long
well,
Courier nailing the windward end of the line. A little bit of a problem with the kite, to be
yeah,
fair.
well, it is gusting in there. They're coming through. It's squirrels, I think they call them, don't they?
Yeah, give us some sail numbers. Who's the white kite with the blue lines next to it?
Okay,
Bowsprit.
ROU1, which I'm going to say is B Wild, is the Swan 42.
I'll let you have that.
Okay, and then I'm interested in this.
X-Day, that's definitely X-Day, the far GP42.
Yep, Dave Sweet on board.
Dave Sweet on board, yeah, indeed.
He said to me this morning, when I asked him what his prediction for the race was, X-Day every day.
But yeah, Jerry Trentaso got a cracking start there. Jerry's got this at the moment in his Sydney 43.
So what's the GER 8419?
That is X-Day.
Okay.
The
and then
GP42,
what about
Walter Waterman and Lars Huckstad as skipper.
I want to get this red kite, which is 53205.
That's Chenapan, the Curve 40.
Oh,
Gilles Caminade.
Gilles Caminade. He's done
Yacht
this
Club
race
de
a number of
France,
times. He's
yeah.
had some good results.
Yeah, having problems in that position flying his kite.
Yeah, he was third in class in 2003 and 2023 and 2022. Fifth in class in 2021. So this is fourth successive race, Lewis.
There we go. X-Day just jibing because they're about to lose their breeze there.
Well, X-Day's creeping into the lead, looking
Yeah,
at that vision.
great start there from X-Day. They had an incredible delivery down here as well.
What about behind them? MLT 5200.
Okay, MLT 528. That is
Otravez.
Otravez, yeah.
Oh, they'll be happy. They've
Aaron
had some
Gat Florida with his IC 52.
highly competitive. They've had some tough races though. And then
Yeah.
we've got some boats on the inside here, which you won't see probably in vision, but GER 8501 has just gone past us in the commentary position.
Yeah, fantastic. In shot, we've got Valletta. Well,
That
in
is
shot,
Valletta. That is the boat
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's
just,
an exciting looking boat.
Fantastic looking boat. It's like a 43 foot, it's like a class 43. That boat, very interesting.
With Sonka Stein on them.
Sonkerstein on
He's
board.
German,
yeah.
but I
Arne
think the
Brunn as
Maltese
well.
treat him as one of their own.
Yeah, NRV boat, a very interesting design. And there we've got a lovely shot of Otravez, and then
That's Artie.
Artie3. What do you know about Artie?
HH42. The crew's won the race twice. Before.
2011, 2014.
Exactly.
In a J122.
Christian Rippard, who's on there, he won the race in his own right with Bigfoot back in the 90s.
Yeah.
But
And
that
it's
is,
about time we had a Maltese winner, Giles. We haven't had one for a while, and that's I reckon Artie could do it this
that's
year.
your hope, is it?
Yeah, I hope so. But
I
there
think
we have the fleet leaving Grand Harbour for IRC3. 17 starters and another competitive start there. And the breeze has really picked up here. We're seeing probably a gradient breeze at least 20, and it's gusting over 25.
And that is tight coming out. Look at this. Who's coming out? Oh, is that Otravez coming in across? That is not looking good.
X-Day fenders out on the breakwater there. Look at that. Yeah, it's going to be pretty wild out there, and it'll be very wet on X-Day, I can tell you that.
Yeah. So that was Gilles Caminade having to take evasive action as Otravez came in. Look at these gusts. Look, and
Yeah. That's a
Chinese
spin out,
drive.
proper spin out there.
that was not expected, was it?
No.
That is tough. George mentioned these gusts once you come out behind Fort Ricasoli, which is at the end of this
Yeah, it's just
breakwater, the
bending
right-hand
round,
end.
isn't it?
It's
bending round
but
there.
it's also got.
Artie's right close in on the breakwater there. Let's see how they deal with it. Got the crew all hiked out as well.
Yeah.
But fantastic start here for IRC 3, which is the 5th start of the Rolex Middle Sea Race. We've got 2 more starts to go. Little bit of a breather after this one. It's a 20-minute wait rather than 10-minute wait.
So we're 15 minutes away from the next start.
Yeah, we'll try and get out to George in a couple of minutes and see what the sea state and the conditions are like out there. But I can tell you it's really windy here in Grand Harbour, Malta, for the Rolex Middle Sea Race. And as we said at the start, you can follow this race as it unfolds at rolexmiddlesearace.com. It's all over social media at Rolex Middle Sea Race, and we've got satellite trackers on all of the boats. And every morning we're going to have a live Facebook update, about a 30-minute show, where we'll run through the latest news from the race. There's Otravez coming straight at the camera.
Oh, no, we're straight. We're straight at Dragonara. We're looking at earlier starts now, Louis.
We are looking at early starts. So thank you, Giles.
Fujimo. I'm not going to ask what that stands for.
Well, let's just leave it there. It's our little secret.
There's our Polish friends.
Yeah, shall we try and have a chat with George Bonello Dupuy? Can you see if we can get George Bonello Dupuy up on the line and find out what's going on outside the harbour? Inside the harbour, it is really windy, and I doubt very much if it's any less windy outside.
Well, they're looking at that Dragonara camera. They've definitely got their hands full up there.
They have, yeah. And the sea state never gets flattered by the camera. Right. We're looking at about 2 metre swell out there. You can see that rib bobbing up and down.
But I don't think we were expecting that. So they're coming in on port into the Dragonara mark.
Yes.
And then they're jibing round.
Yeah, for to point at Siracusa, but that's going to be a very fast and pretty tactical. You know, that'll be almost dead downwind.
Yeah.
To Siracusa, and this breeze is forecast to stay with us for at least the next 24 hours and maybe even strengthen tonight. So a very windy start to the Rolex Middle Sea Race, and we've heard that it's going to continue. And I'm not sure we can get George out there.
No, I suspect
maybe we've lost him.
He's probably coming in now. I can see some ribs coming into the harbour, so he's probably going to come back into range shortly.
We're not going to get hold of George for now. There we go. So we got 2 starts left, Giles, I believe.
We have IRC2. This is where the big boys start coming out, don't they? We're looking at some fast, seriously fast, potent weapons, I'm going to say, in the IRC2 start.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've 16 boats.
I mean, virtually all of them are capable of boat speeds of over 20 knots. Yeah. So at this angle, with this wind speed, this is going to be really fast.
We're not going to keep up with this one, do we? Highest rated boat in IRC2 is Federico. Federico Dosso is the skipper of the Nasira 6912.
Yeah.
I met the owners the other day. Lovely chaps.
Interesting boat, hey?
Really,
lifting keel,
really interesting boat.
Canting,
lifting canting keel.
Wow. Okay.
Carbononi. So Caraboni, sorry. So that at least you've got some respect for it.
Yeah, for sure. Lowest rated boat in this class is James Neville's Khaki 45 Eno Noir.
I didn't think I'd hear you ever say that. The lowest rated boat in the class.
That puts it into perspective.
It does.
So, you know, this is definitely going to be a very fast and I would say very competitive start. And we've just said the top to the bottom there. We've also got, smallest boat is the Pulby Marine Elliott 35, another canting keeler. That's Michael Willman with co-skipper Thomas Sorensen. And it may be the smallest, but it's a very fast offshore yacht. And from Finland, we've got Tuli Kettu, Arto Liverno's Infinity 52, furiously flying the Finnish flag. It's a bit more than passion for his team. It's nearly all Finnish crew on board, but they have got the unmistakable talent of the Kiwi round the world sailor Andy Micklejohn on board. And that boat's got radical DSS side foils, which give it more righting moment, and very, very light. So a pretty radical boat there. Who else have we got? Spirit of Lorena, the Botting 65. That'll be in the next start as well. We've got Jean-Pierre Dick with Notre Méditerranée, his JP54. Arabas, the French TP52. Teasing Machine, winner in 2022. I mean, Black Pearl with Stefan Jens at the helm, the boat in 56. I think we might be able to get George. I can hear somebody trying to call him. George, are you there? Yeah, whereabouts are you, George? Yeah, George, where are you? Okay. Okay, well, we're at least 100 feet above you. What's the wind speed like down at sea level?
Yeah, it's blowing 20, definitely 20, gusting 25 at the breakwater. So we've had a few approaches. As soon as they've gone around the first arm, very, very close. Very close, but no collision, thank God.
Okay, with your eyeball, you can't see any problems there?
Yeah, no, I mean, they've just got to be careful. As soon as they pass Ricasoli, smart guys, and between Ricasoli and the breakwater, it's plus 5-10 knots more of wind.
Okay.
Gusting really strong. So everybody seems to be approaching once they go around the breakwater.
Gotcha. And what about sea state, George?
Sea state is still, I mean, I'm imagining that most of the boats are making the sea state even worse. But it's still a good 1.5 meters difference out there. Maybe 2 as well.
Okay. So they're ripping along out there, aren't they? Is it pretty much downwind after Dragonara to Syracuse?
Yeah, they're all going out. They're all going out on a reach on a starboard tack, and they're all keeping their spinnakers to the first mark, jibing, and onto a port tack, and they're all going all the way downwind to St. Julian's Bay.
Oh, okay. So it's fairly one-sided to St. Julian's Bay, but once they leave Malta, then things might change.
Yeah, definitely. I imagine once they go on the starboard tack outside Dragonara, they're going to have a good reach all the way to Capo.
Yeah. We're seeing on the TV screen, and the viewers at home can see boats jibing around that mark, and it looks really breezy and pretty wavy out there, George.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just got
definitely
Nola going round.
Definitely gusty, and I'm really looking forward to the next 2 fleets to start now. So we're going to have some light action coming along.
You're going to better keep up with them, George.
I'll try.
Hey, George, I mean, you've seen more middle sea races than most. This is a pretty windy start, hey?
I didn't quite get it, but this is one of the best starts I've had, Louis, to be honest. We haven't had a windy, gusty start for a long time. So I'm looking forward to the next 2 and having a beer with you after the start.
Oh, well, maybe a Kinney. I'm not sure it'd be a beer, George. I've got to write the words in the wrong order.
It's a Kinney.
Lovely, George. Let's try and keep in contact, and thanks very much for giving us the atmos out there.
Okay, talk soon.
Cheers, George.
I can barely hear you.
So, Giles, we're 7 minutes until the next start. We've still got the boats out at Dragonara. They look pretty packed together.
They do. They've had a great, fetch out there, haven't they? Well, downwind. It's downwind, I suppose, but it's really tight because there aren't many kites up there.
No, George is saying it's pretty one-sided on the, as far as St. Julian's, and then once they get out the land effect of Malta, it could go aft a bit.
Yeah, so it's a tight reach, and then jibe round and head north.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, very fast start. So
they're certainly barreling down there, aren't they? They're making good pace. I'm trying to get a feel of which class we're looking at again, Louis. That's coming in here. So GBR 5621.
Yeah, I think it's IRC4. I definitely saw Nola.
Yeah.
Earlier on, that's the MAT 1220 from IRC4. Nice
Yeah,
boat
you saw
that.
no list, so you're right, IRC4.
Mark
Well
Mills
done.
designed that one.
Yeah, and that's the MAT 1245 going round. Focus is, I think, Firecrest, isn't it? The Jubin Nivel 40.
Yeah.
Benoit Tudori. Spoke to him, he's a Figaro sailor. Again, looking forward to this race.
Yeah, fantastic.
Seemed very calm on the dock this morning, one of the more calm.
Yeah, I think, speaking to Bao Becking, who's on Balthazar, he said, yeah, it's going to be windy, but he doesn't think it's going to be anything crazy, and I think he's about right.
Yeah, I don't think the races, I was interested in what they were reacting to the start, and actually, they all seemed very calm about it, but I wonder if when they got here and realised what the gusts were doing,
yeah, I mean,
it raises the excitement level.
It certainly raised the excitement level, but we've got a very high sea temperature, very high air temperature, and all of these boats are fully equipped with safety equipment. They're set out for offshore racing. They all get inspected beforehand, So, it's a windy start, but it's nothing crazy.
No, that's true. So I spoke to, who did I speak to this morning? Yoru, the Vismara Mill 62 from Class 2, who will be going in, are they going in 4 minutes, Louis?
I'll check out for you, Giles. Let's have a little look.
They are. I think they're going midday 4. They're going in 4 minutes.
Okay.
And I spoke to Luigi Sala, the owner. It's the first time they've done the race. The boat's name, if anyone's interested, means night in Japanese.
It means what? Sorry,
it means night in Japanese. He studied Japanese.
Okay.
And he has an interest in it.
Okay.
But he's very excited about the race. The young crew.
Yeah.
He's sailed with them for a long time. They did the Ark previously, so they have got some offshore experience in there.
Wonderful. Well, look, Giles, Franco Nigella. There isn't anybody who loves a race more than Franco. We had a chat with the owner of the Cookson 50, Kuka 3, before the start of the race. Here you go.
I did it probably 10 times, I think. There is two things which are unique. First is Malta, which is a beautiful place. And second one, it's the only race where you have different meteorological situations, and it's a marvelous race.
Franco Nigella. We love that man.
We do, and he's so inspirational, Franco, and he gets fully involved in all the logistics of the race. It's absolutely fantastic.
Who's he got on the boat, Louis?
He's got Mitch Booth on, and Mitch was on the boat in 2017 when they nearly won it overall.
But Mitch has won it, hasn't he?
Yeah, Mitch. Well, he's taken line honours,
and he's won it overall. He was on Komachi in 2021. He did the trifecta.
Double. There you go.
So he's halved the size of his boat this year. I thought as you got older you were supposed to increase the size of your boat.
Yeah, and also he's on Leopard, and that's a fantastic crew on Leopard. But so is the Kuka. The ethos on board there is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Great to see them back. And you know what? A Cookson 50 will absolutely love this. 25 knots reaching. That's almost made for a
Canting Keel.
And it's immaculate, the boat. Yeah, absolutely immaculate. So I wouldn't mind saying I reckon Kuka might have a good start here. But we'll see.
So too. The other boat I'm really looking forward to seeing on this start, though, is the Elliott 35, Poolby Marine.
Yes.
Skipper Michael Mollman and Thomas Sorensen.
Yeah, they're going to struggle on waterline length on this start, I can tell you that.
They're not going to struggle. Yeah. They're going to be wet and fast, aren't they, surely?
I'll put my neck out here. I reckon Teasy Machine's going to have a good start. Eric de Turkheim has joined the Super Series, so he's been doing some very competitive starts of late. So I wouldn't mind betting Teasy Machine get away well. How long we got? We've got a minute to go.
We're inside the minute. We're inside the minute.
Right, we got a lot of black sails here in Grand Harbour. Seat belts on. And Giles, are you going to get the binos out because we're going to need sail numbers
I'm
here?
going to get the binos out. Yeah, I think I'm going to take a punt at my Turkish friends are at the committee boat end of the line. Yes, they are. They've got a lovely dragon on the sail. That helps us out a
Okay,
lot.
so that's Blue Moon, Barnard Arcas up at the
also,
pin.
Paulby Marine are at the committee boat end as well. That's the Elliott 35.
Yeah, okay.
I can see
from
Tila
Denmark.
Ketu, Finland, with the red kick written on the sail.
Yeah,
That's the
Arta
Finnish boat.
Linervo.
What else have I got? ITA 17565. I'm going to say Luigi Guida, is that possibly? That's the gun, so they're off.
Right,
no,
so-
Hagar, that's Hagar. I can see, so closest to the committee boat is Hagar.
Fantastic, yeah. Okay.
But middle of the line looks much faster, doesn't it?
It does indeed. Who's the smaller boat in that pack there? It's had a great start.
Okay, so if I'm looking at that, the boat that we're focusing on is a Turkish boat. So that's Arcus Blue Moon with the white kite, dark hull,
Yeah,
white
great
writing
start
on
there
it.
from the Turkish team.
Closely followed by FRA 2025. Is that your Spirit?
That's Spirit of Lorena, the
Yeah,
boat in
okay.
56.
And then we've got the red boat, which is Red Bandit, which is the young German crew, Carl-Peter Forster. And
Yeah, great stuff.
I'm looking to windward of them is Inno Noir, which is obviously the
Can't keep 45s,
more
yeah,
purple
James Neville.
boat. Where am I looking? Right up towards the pin end.
Yeah, well, we've
that
got
looks to be Black Pearl.
Yeah, we've got a nice shot of the Turkish team on Arcas Blue Moon. And I'd say from the body language, there's a lot of adrenaline pumping there. They're all standing up, ready to roll.
Fired up.
But looks like the boating is going to go to leeward of them here.
And Red Bandit too.
Yeah, Red Bandit, she's footed off quite nicely, got some good speed.
Interesting to see, we can't see them in shot, but just behind Red Bandit, the kite you can see to the right of the screen is Hagar. They've got a big Hagar, sorry I should say. You've got a big Hagar on their spinnaker.
They're going well down to leeward there.
The black
just
boat
losing the
with
kite a little bit, but who's that jibing off there? That's the boat in, that's Spirit of Lorena putting a jibe in.
Yep, and what are we looking at in vision? I was hoping we were going to
Red
get...
Bandit have definitely won that little duel. They're ahead. But I would say the two leading boats at the moment are the Turkish Arcas Blue Moon and the German TP52 Red Bandit. It's a nice shot of Hagar there on screen. Obviously a much bigger boat and not as manoeuvrable as those 52esques. A lot of noise up here, a lot of whistling going on.
Paulby Marine coming into the shore just
There
to
we
give
go.
the crowd a thrill. They've just picked up a gust.
Yeah, she fell over. Back up, well done, boys. We didn't quite catch that on
Well, now
camera,
they-
but that was a little bit of a spill out.
It is going on in there when it gusts.
Yeah, big time. So there you've got the leaders in IRC2 leaving Grand Harbour.
That is Paulby Marine.
Paulby Marine's got it all
hanging
on
it
there.
on.
Might have a little bit too much sail area up there, boys. But they are giving it plenty. The Danes do like a bit of dynamite, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay,
Lovely little boat that was in Hamble for some time as well. Paulby Marine, the Elliott 35.
And that's showing you what's going on in the middle of the harbour. They're coming there. They've got a lot more work to do on this start, Louis. I think the wind is turning. You can see the gusts are coming more directly down the harbour as opposed to across as they were earlier on.
Yeah.
So we've got a change of wind direction within the harbour.
Yeah, got a bit more cloud covers come over. It's blocked out that sun and it's actually reduced the wind speed just slightly. There we've got a nice close-up shot of the FRA 2025.
Spirit of Lorena, the Bottin 65.
Yeah, I've got to say I like that boat. They've done well in the past as well, Giles.
They have done well in the past. Second overall in the 2022 Middle Sea Race.
Yeah. Got a good
2015
crew on the
one,
boat as well.
one on IC 0.
Yeah. Crew includes Bruno Jean-Jean. And there we've got a lovely boat, Bolsius. What do you know about our friends on Bolsius, Giles?
At the moment, you just lead me into it, Louis. You're so cruel.
Well, it's on the screen. Well, I'll tell you, that used to be Silk Cup.
Ah,
yeah.
So it's a Whitbread 60.
It is a Whitbread 60, 1997, youth Dutch team with some pros on board, yeah. And it was Silk Cup. A couple of silk cut crew here as well on other boats. There we got a nice shot there. Hagar doing a good job.
Yeah.
They stayed on the Baraka side shore.
And so is the Elliott 35, which you poo-pooed earlier in the start.
I did not poo-poo. I said they were going for it. The Danish Dynamite. We are red, we are white, we are Danish Dynamite. And they certainly went off with a bang. IRC2 leaving the harbour. It didn't take them long.
It didn't take them long, did it? Safely away.
Safely away, yeah. And once they get round that turning mark, they'll be pointing their bows at Sicily for this 600-mile race. And we got one more start, but before we give you that start, which is, let's just call them the big boys, we had a chat with Blackjack.
It feels great because this is the first time I get the opportunity to fight for the Light of Honor. We come here very ready with a boat that is fully technically ready, a team fully motivated, and yeah, we're gonna give it our best shot.
Well, I'm sure we'll be seeing more of Blackjack later, Giles. We've got quite a variety of boats in here, and just tell me a little bit about Balthazar.
Well, it's a former Maxi 72 that's been optimised for offshore racing. It did the Palermo Monte Carlo race, and I think it was third across the line in that behind Lucky and Blackjack, which are also obviously in this start as well. I think it did better than them on handicap. It's got a stacked crew.
Cracking crew on board, and we had a chat with them before the start of the race, including the legendary Bauer Becking.
The most appealing thing for myself is always there's so many corners and so many islands where you go around, so there's plenty of opportunities to do really well. So that's why I think the race is so popular. And of course the climate helps a little bit as well.
Fantastic. Bauer's raced with that team for about 20-30 years. Right through a bunch of swans and through the Volvo Ocean race. And it's a wonderful mix on board. They've got some of the top pros in the world. Stu Bannatyne's on board. And also Belgians that are Corinthians. They just love sailing. It's a great setup on that team. Well, we're now looking at the big boats, and right in the middle of the shop we've got Scallywag and a little bit of a trip out to see what the weather's like ahead, and I'm sure the big boats are looking at that picture as well. So we are just waiting for the last start for the Rolex Middle Sea Race, which will be how many starters we got in this one, Giles? I think it's
8 starters.
Yeah. Give us a little rundown. We've got 2 minutes, Giles.
Okay,
you can do it in 2 minutes.
Blackjack 100, Wyckoff 30. Yep. It took line honours in 2006 as Alfa Romeo 2 and then as Estimate Europa 2. It took line honours again 4 times between 2010 and 2014. More recently, it's been down in Australia at the Rolex Sydney Hobart, doing very well there, led by Mark Bradford, who's on the boat again. And Tristan Lebrun, the racing skipper this time. They got the Palermo Monte Carlo record this year.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got a couple of Volvo Ocean 65, CC, the Austrian one with
Gerwin Janssen, the Dutch skipper,
this is their 5th time around. The other 65 is the Lithuanian Ambassador 2.
Okay, yeah.
And this is their 4th race. Those two, the conditions really haven't suited Volvo 65s, but they do well. They have a good fight together. Dinzadu, Volvo Open 70.
Yeah.
Danielle and Mika Thomas, father and daughter combination, now in charge of this boat.
No pressure, 60 seconds to start, Giles.
Okay, hello, it's Scallywag 100 from Hong Kong. Bullet, Wally 93, winner of the race last year. Andrea Recordati is the owner and skipper, but he's got a stacked crew as well. Not going to run through that. Balthazar we've mentioned, Ambassador we've mentioned, and Lucky, of course, which is the former Rambler 88, 5-time line honours winner. They had an unlucky trip last time. They lost their rig off the northwest coast.
But they're back.
And they've done well this season.
Yeah,
they've done the Aegean
fantastic.
600 in Palermo, Monte Carlo. They've proven that they're back up and running.
Here
and
we
again,
go,
another
Giles.
victory.
We've got the dial up on screen. This is the big boat start with probably the line honours winner of this race in it. And that looks like Bullets there. Look at the size of that spinnaker. That is enormous. And as you say, the Bullet crew is absolutely stacked, fully loaded. There's the gun. And a pretty conservative start, I've got to say. Bullet way ahead on that start. 2023 overall winner, fully loaded. The Bullet has Andrea Raccordati with a crew of Jocke Signorini, Marcel Van Trees as navigator, Martin Stromberg, Peter Van Nierke, Luke Malloy, Tony Nossiter, Willie Altadil, Mike Pameter, and they've got quite a good helmsman. Who's that, Giles?
Chap called Francesco Bruni.
Board down, Francesco.
Francesco Bruni.
Checo
Bruni, I think they call him, don't they?
There we go.
From Luna Rossa.
Not quite as fast as an AC, but let's see how he gets on. He's from Palermo as well, isn't he?
He is from Palermo. He's never done the race before.
All right, fantastic.
Which he's somewhat embarrassed about.
Yeah, so breeze has slightly gone down with this cloud cover. It's just taken a bit of the energy out
It has,
of it.
and it's gone definitely further south. So they're almost dead downwind coming up the harbour at the moment.
But a great start for Bullet. Wally 93, winner by 24 seconds. We can see Baumann up there. He's having a look at something because that kite is not flying, or that soft sail is not flying very well.
Scallywag out to the back, and just on the right-hand side of the vision, there we can see there now is Balthazar looking there, coming in towards us. The boat that's done really well is the Volvo 65. Both the Volvo 65s. The Austrian one is in the lead at the moment of the pair.
Yeah, and the sail there. Yeah, they've gone well. Lucky's had a great start as well.
Yeah, they're on the outside, closest to Fort St Angelo.
Yeah.
And then going back towards the big boys, Blackjack and Scallywag. Clearly, there's no rush for those two. They just need to get out of the harbour in one piece.
And they just want to be first boat in, and they have got the legs probably on all of this. Although Rambler will be at Rambler. Lucky will be very, very quick on a reach in big breeze. What a sight.
I think the noise is going to start again as they come in shore. We're going to get the Slovenians going.
There. That's Rogier van Overveld giving the crowd a wave.
Yeah, with Louis Balcon's boat.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, they footed off quite nicely. Found themselves a little safe spot here on the left-hand side. And they look pretty relaxed on board.
As well they should. That is a fully prepped crew.
Yeah.
Comfortable in conditions like this, I'm sure.
Nice shot of Lucky on the left there. And got to give a shout out on board, Lucky, to Jerry Kirby, who's back on the boat. Wonderful guy, Jerry. We're back with Balthazar. So this is a Maxi 72. It was originally built for inshore, but it has been heavily modified for offshore work. It was originally Allegra, not the Allegra that won the Rolex Middle Sea race, I hasten to add. This is an inshore construction which has been modified, and it's under new ownership. As I say, great crew on board, including, who've we got?
Well, Stu Bannatyne, I think you can't not pick him out. Isn't he Mr.
He's won 4 Volvo Whitbread round the world races, all in different boats, Maxis, Volvo 65s, you name it. Also Pablo Arate, and also Ariane van der Loestrecht, who's probably not so well known to everybody, but she's just back from the Women's America's Cup, where she was on Team Jaja.
Very nice. That's
Amber
the Lithuanians on Amber Sail. To say that this is their 4th race, I believe, certainly in this boat.
Yeah, all
they may have been
Lithuanian
before
crew. Little shot there, Scallywag, scampering away. Great crew on board Scallywag as well, including navigator Juan Villa. Skippered by Whitty, David Witt. It's got Pete Cummings on board, Phil Harmer, James Crampton. Christian Seal, and
they were here before, weren't they, as Maximus back in 2006 when they lost out to Alfa Romeo, which is now Blackjack.
There
is history.
Previous.
History. And then they had history down at the Sydney Hobart too, those boats.
Yeah. So we're watching a Blackjack, I believe, just leaving Grand Harbour. And I say the breeze has just gone down a little bit, and it's no longer blowing 25 knots, but it's still blowing probably about 15. Although the forecast is looking very unstable, we are expecting big breeze on the eastern Sicilian coast tonight for all of the sailors in this race, of which there are about 1,000 from 30 different countries. And we're going to keep bringing you reports via our social media channels and also on RolexMiddleSeaRace.com. That's the website. You can find all the hooks, all the places to find out what's going on there, including the live tracker. It's live right now. You can see where all of the boats are 24/7 in real time. And we will be bringing you daily updates on Facebook, the Rolex Middle Sea Race Facebook page, every morning at 900 CEST. And we've got a shot there of Lucky picking up her skirts and going out into the big blue yonder. Giles, sum up the start.
Well, I think almost we had a reverse of last year where it was really slow for the little boats and then sped up as we got to the big boats, whereas this year quite fast for the small boats and a little bit slower for the big boats, but it's been an exceptional start. That's been a real test just to get out of the harbour, I would say. Certainly more sail handling than they were used to, and possibly a little bit more exciting than they've had in the past, but a real display, a great start, a great way to get the race underway.
Yeah, and a big thank you to everybody here in Malta. We want to give a particular shout out to some of the supporters of this race, but it's such a wonderful place to come to. People are so friendly, and Maltese engineering just makes everything happen. Giles, any special thanks?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, we need to thank the main sponsor of the race, obviously Rolex, who've been a title sponsor since 2002. But the Royal Malta Yacht Club also benefits from the support of Yachting Malta, who've been instrumental in helping us put together this live broadcast. They obviously also sponsor the coastal race ahead of the main event. Then there are two other government bodies that are also really important to organising this. It's Transport Malta, who look after Grand Harbour and its safe operation. So great thanks to them, because they have helped by keeping boats out. And then the Malta Tourism Authority, they run a program, they bring media down to the event too, but they've also been instrumental in making sure that Valletta is celebrating it. And ahead of the start, we didn't really see it, but they've run a couple of historical reenactments to bring people down from the main square in Valletta with La Guardia, who come from the Knights of St. John from the 16th century. So that has been a lovely little thing to do, and I know they've been talking to the restaurants in town and making sure people are aware. And actually, if you get in a taxi, a lot of the taxi drivers know when, if you're going to Lower Baraka Gardens, they know why, and that's a really nice thing, and I think that's a lot down to there. And of course, the Armed Forces of Malta, who have had their boats out patrolling the harbour, making sure that the harbour and the start is safe, I suppose, as much as anything else. Maybe we should thank the Saluting Battery too, because that is a charitable organisation, but they put on a great display with their guns today too. And really the people of Valletta.
Yeah, the people of Valletta. I think the people of Malta, quite frankly, they're so welcoming here. Well, look, that's been the start, just the start of the 45th edition of the Rolex Middle Sea Race. You can keep up with all the action, and the only website you really need is RolexMiddleSeaRace.com, and follow us on social media on Rolex Middle Sea Race. And we'll leave you the shot of the Turkish blue moon jibing and heading off into the big blue wonder. Thanks very much for watching, and stay tuned to all our updates for this amazing race. This was the start of the Rolex Middle Sea Race. Stay right up to date with the race at the official website rolexmiddlesearace.com or on social media with the hashtag Rolex Middle Sea Race.